All right, family. So I am back in Accra. My last video that you should have seen said that Aman and I were on the bus at 7 a.m., mind you, um, to get back to Accra to catch a flight at Kotoka International Airport. So if I'm sitting here in Accra, Ghana, telling you about this, then you can only imagine that I didn't make the flight. Okay, so I wanted to share those details with you because, again, my overall feeling, as you all know, is that what can I say? Everything happens in divine order, right? So when I left Ghana, I went to the Kwame Nkrumah Memorial, but I did not get to go to the art center, and I wanted to go to the art center. So guess what? I'm going to the art center tomorrow, though. So we leave the guest house in Kumasi. I didn't sleep all night. I still haven't gone to sleep. When I'm traveling, for some reason, all I'm thinking about is being on time, getting where I need to go. So we left the guest house at 6 a.m. All right. Went to the cash machines, handled some business. I was at the bus station by 6:15, 6:30. So we get to the bus station, go inside to get our tickets. I left the driver and my son outside with the bags. And even getting out the car, let me go back. Getting out the car, and this man grabs one of the suitcases from my son. And so, my son just kind of lets him grab it, like thinking he's one of the ushers for the bus or something. And I'm like, no, grab it back. So he snatches it back, and then the man kind of backs off. And that's what they'll do. They'll grab your bag, and you'll think that they probably work for the bus line or the airport, but they don't. They're just someone who's like, you're going to pay me for pulling your bag over here without even asking you. So you have to be aware. Luckily, I caught it, and Amon caught it. So it wasn't like he was going to take the bag, but he definitely would have expected some sort of payment. And with that, I'm going to say that nothing is free, okay? Doing a video on that too. Okay, so Amon gets the bag back. I leave the driver and him outside without 3 small bags, and I go inside to pay for the ticket. There's a bunch of people just kind of randomly standing around, and I'm like, okay, what's going on? There's no one at the ticket booth. I'm like, okay, maybe they haven't opened yet. But I see people loading on buses, so I'm to assume that someone must have been there at some point, at least for those buses that were designated for other locations. So finally, several people come in and out. We're all like looking, hoping it's the person that's going to take the tickets, and it's not. This organized chaos. Finally, someone comes and he just pops them out. He takes the money, gives you your ticket, sends you on your way. Now, when you get your ticket, they write a number on the back, and you're supposed to take that number and check your bags so that the bag check person will write that number on a piece of paper, stick it on each one of your bags, like a label. So there's a guy collecting the bags. So I don't have change. I just came from the cash machine. The cash machine gave out 50s. So I give him a 50. And, he's just taking his time giving me my change bag. So I'm like, okay, can I have my change? Because he said the 3 bags were like 22 or something like that. 22 Ghana CDs. So he's charging me per bag, right? Total $22 for 3 bags. So I give him a 50, doesn't give me my change. So finally I'm like, you know what? Here, I have 25. So he gives me back the 50, and now I'm waiting for the 3 CDs. So he gives me back the CDs after he takes change from a few people. But just to go back on the cash machine issue, in Kumasi, you can take out 1,000 Ghana CDs per transaction. Unlike in the States, where if you take out the maximum, I don't know, let's say it's $500 or $1,000, that's it for the day. You can't take out anymore. Ghana, you can take out 1,000 CD per transaction, CDs per transaction. So I put my card in, I take out 1,000. I know that's not enough. I put my card in again, I can take out another 1,000. Again, not enough. Put my card in again, I take out another 1,000. Now, the reason why I'm taking out these transactions like this is because I need to pay for the residence where I was staying at. Um, Zelle did not work for me in Kumasi. It kept saying that it was going to send me a security code to make sure that it was me, but the security code message never came through. So, I didn't want to leave and not take care of the people that took care of me, basically. So I stopped at the cash machine and was able to withdraw the funds that I needed. And I also purchased one of Chief's amazing shirts. If you guys haven't seen them posted in um, the group, you'll see some of them on Instagram as well. He uh, has a group that uniquely designs these boutique t-shirts. If you know anything about boutique, it's not like tie-dye. Some people misconstrue the two. It's a different technique. Tie-dye is usually just that, tying and dyeing. Boutique is a process of using wax. It's more specialized and it lasts longer. So I'll be showing some of those items. If you haven't seen them, I'll have to flash pictures, but you can check those out. Also have a phone number for Chief if you're interested in purchasing the shirts. So back to the ticket issue. So we get the bags. We go sit on. I tell Amon to go sit on the bus. When I get on the bus, he's standing up. So I'm like, why are you standing? So there's a woman dressed in a military uniform who basically is explaining to everyone that all of the seats go by the number on your ticket. So you don't just get to sit anywhere. So we ended up in the very last seats in the back of the bus, which was fine because they're cushioned, they're comfortable. So we just went and, we sat down and we wait. I did a short video on that we're, hoping that we're going to get out of this bus station on time because I had expected to be on the road by 7, not be still sitting in the bus station. So this ride from Kumasi to Ghana is 4 hours long. It's supposed to be 4 hours long. So I think I'm ahead of the curve because I'm at the bus station at 7. I should arrive by 11. My flight doesn't leave. I thought it was 3. My flight's supposed to leave at 2 because it's 14:10. So again, I'm still like, I should be okay. Gives me enough time, at least 2 hours to check in, right? So the bus goes. We finally get on the road. It's a pretty straight run, but I'm noticing a couple of little jams, like traffic jams, where it's going slow and stop, slow and stop, picking up speed, slow and stop. By the time we get to Accra, 4 hours later, I don't need to tell you that the bus was behind at the halfway mark. So we're at the rest stop and the bus is behind on schedule. And now I'm getting a little antsy because it's like 11:20 when I had expected to already be in Accra. By the time we got to Accra, it is exactly 2 o'clock. The bus driver, I told him I needed to go to the airport. He calls me and Amon to tell us to get off the bus and we can go to the airport. And he has a phone in his hand. So I'm thinking, well, my driver must have called them because I already have someone meeting me at the last stop, which is the terminal, right? So I get up, get ready to get off the bus. And I'm like, do you have my driver on the phone? And he's like, no, you could get a driver here. And all these cab drivers rush up. Oh, we can get you to the airport. We can get you to the airport. I'm like, no, I have a driver. Why are you making me get off the bus someplace that I don't need to be? I told you I need to go to the last stop. So we get back on the bus. Luckily, the bus was in traffic anyway, so it's not like we lost time, right? So we get back on the bus. We finally get into the station. And it's like, I don't know, 1:45. Mind you, my plane leaves at 2 p.m. So I'm like, there's no way, because now it's supposed to be a half hour to get from the bus station to the airport. But with this traffic, we know it's not going to be a half hour. Nevertheless, I have already resigned to the fact that we're missing this flight. I called the airline when I was on the bus and I explained to them the situation and I asked if it would be a possibility that the plane was delayed, that they would hold it for us, and if not, to get us on the next flight. I couldn't manage my flight online because for some reason, I guess because it was a third party person, I wasn't able to book it to change my flight or itinerary or to check in online. So I get to the airport and there's a young lady at the desk and, she basically tells me that, there are no other flights tonight or today or tomorrow. the next flight is on Thursday. So I have a meeting scheduled with Chief Fode and his wife, as well as, some other folks that I'm looking forward to meeting in Sierra Leone. And I'm just like, I'm going to have to call everyone. Now, mind you, when I get to Sierra Leone, Freetown Airport, I have to take a water taxi to Freetown. So I had to pay for that in advance. That was $40 each. Of course, I got them round trip because I'm not going to go and not come back to the airport. So that was, we're talking 160. So I paid for that. I know I'm going to have to do COVID tests when I get there. Now I have to address this issue with the flights, right? So the lady tells me that to change the flights for me and Amon, it's going to be, brace yourself, about 800, right? Am I exaggerating? No, it's about, she says 376 each, 378 each, which is 400 each. I'm at 800, right? By the time you do taxes. So I'm like, I can't do that. And quite honestly, I'm just not going to do that because the flight itself didn't cost that much. When the flight cost that amount of money, it was because the taxes were $100 and change. So now I'm like, that's outrageous. Like, you got to do better for me. This was not my fault. I cannot dictate Ghana traffic. I know Ghana traffic was bad because I've had warnings. And I'm not going to say Ghana. Let me say Accra. Let me be specific. Kumasi and Accra, so traffic's a little tight. It's a lot of people. Okay. So I knew traffic was an issue, and that's why I thought by leaving the time that I left, I would be okay. Um, lesson learned. In the future, I would tell anybody, if you are leaving to go to another location or to catch a flight, the night before you leave, stay next to the airport. Don't try to travel from any other location because, circumstances are beyond your control. Like, you just don't know what's going to happen. So nevertheless, I missed the flight. I'm talking to the lady. So I'm like not leaving this window until she helps me. And she's pleasant for the most part, very professional. She's just like, Miss, this is what happens when you miss a flight. I said, I understand that. And if I thought it was my fault, I could accept that a little more. I was like, but these are things out of my control. And I am not only traveling, like I didn't start in Ghana and I'm going to Sierra Leone. Like I started in Pennsylvania. I've been to London. I've been to Ghana. From Ghana, I'm going to Sierra Leone. And then from Sierra Leone, I'm going to Gambia. So I have other flights that I have to catch, and I've made other arrangements in these locations that is now going to cost me additional money by not being able to get on this flight. Okay. So she was like, well, I'm going to look. No, I'll see what I can do. And I said, I would appreciate that. Whatever you could do will be appreciated. So she was at it. She was calling people. She was checking flights. She was doing what she needed to do. She walked away. She did her money count for the day while she was waiting for someone to call her back to give a response. I just waited patiently. What else am I going to do at this point? I've missed my flight. When I realized that I was going to miss the flight, I also called Sister Ya at the Sankofa Repat House, and that's why this Repat House is so important to us in the diaspora, is because if you get stuck, you get laid over, you hope that she would be able to accommodate you. So I called her and she was just like, no problem, come. I have some people coming in Friday. And I was like, I won't even need it that long. I just need it like 2 days because I'll be out Thursday. So this sister was able to find me a flight on Thursday. Thursday, the same time. So this particular flight only leaves every other day to Sierra Leone. So they're leaving Thursday, same time. This time I will be there 3 hours in advance because I'm in Accra. So I'm not going to wait to get stuck in traffic. I'm actually in the dining room area of the Sankofa Repat House because there must be a soccer game. The radio's really loud. You can hear people laughing, having a good time in the other room. So I decided to come in here and record this video because it's just so important for you all to know. So if you don't take anything else from this video, please take the following lessons. Do not depend on public transportation. Do not stay far away from the airport when you know you have a flight to catch, because you just don't know what will happen. Um, Try to manage your flight online if you can. If not, communicate with the airline. And if you miss your flight for any reason, don't accept the first offer. Like anything else, try to barter, try to get them down. Like I actually stood there and I told this lady, listen, not only do I have all these connecting flights, but me missing this flight means that I'll miss the water taxi that I paid for. I'll have to find arrangements for some place to stay unless the airline is willing to accommodate me. And of course, she said no because it's not the airline's fault, but I had to try. I said, and I also have my son. He's 18. Is he considered an adult? I was trying to get like, well, just charge one of us, if you can. And she was like, no, he's considered an adult. I was trying it. Like I was pulling everything out the hat because my thing was, I'm already on a budget, going over my budget at this point, and now I'm digging into my bill money when I get back home, right? So I was trying not to do that. So I'm digging into my reserve, if you will. So I ended up paying, she got the price down from $387 each to $124 each. I took it. No doubt about it. I took it. We'll be leaving on Thursday. I've already made arrangements with my driver. And now here we go again. My driver was waiting all day because he got to the bus station when we were supposed to be there. 11:30. I was calling him, telling him, I think we're going to be later. I think we're going to be later. But he waited. And so he was at the bus station from 11:30, and just dropped us off a little while ago at about 6 p.m. So this is what I'm talking about with the drivers, right? Not only are they driving you, but they're like your personal assistants. They're translating, they're negotiating, waiting on you all day. Like he could have been doing other things. He probably could have been making additional funds. I don't know how much he makes in a day, but I know I had to hit him off, right? So the general rate that you want to give a driver per hour could range from, I don't know, $5 to $10 an hour. Like, I would go by minimum wage standards from the States, if you will. So let's say $8 to $10. So, he spent about 7 to 8 hours of his day with me. So I got to hit him off. I gave him the last of the Ghana CDs that I had, which was probably about 180 Ghana CDs, and then tomorrow I will give him a balance because I used all of my Ghana CDs to pay this woman for the additional flight costs. I don't know why I didn't click to use my card. I think I was just so happy that she got us a great rate. I just gave her the cash straight out. I didn't want to go through no process of her trying to find some place to process my card or whatever. Plus, so we took care of it. Took care of that. Amon was a little worried. We both were talking about how we were feeling anxious being in the traffic and just the energy of it all. And we don't want to deal with that. So I know Accra is not for me. So if nothing else, I've confirmed that Accra is not for me. Right. I love the hustle and bustle. It's cool maybe to visit on occasion, but I would not want to live here. Much too busy, too many people, too much traffic. Like I left New York for that very reason. So I would not come somewhere that is like New York on steroids with traffic, especially with the motorbikes and the bicycles and the mopeds. Like these folks are no joke. I feel like I'm at some sort of, uh, when they have those cross country races and people are driving off the road and flipping, and that's how I feel when I'm in Ghana traffic and Accra traffic. So I know it's not for me. But this traffic is something else. It's something else, and it causes major delays and wastes way too much time. There just has to be a better way to do it. It's like the lanes and red lights mean nothing. Okay, I've seen people go through red lights. I see people cross lanes when there are no lanes. I see people make lanes when there are no lanes. And I'm riding I don't like sitting in the front, but my son's tall, so he can't necessarily sit in the front a lot of times. But I sit in the front with my hand on the dashboard like the whole time, like this. Like I'm just waiting for somebody to hit us from the side or hit us from the back, and I don't want to deal with that. So I hope that this video was helpful. Um, VIP bus tours, nice environment, comfortable seats, but baby, the scheduling. Y'all got to do better with the scheduling. You really do. You know, you really do. The buses just drag, and I don't know what it is. I guess they can't control the road work and what happens on the road, but they got to do better with being on schedule, being punctual, making announcements that they're running late, giving arrival time so that people can make other arrangements. And they don't do any of that. So I'm not really sure what that's about. But I will be sending a notice to VIP to let them know that they caused me additional expenses just because they didn't get their bus in on time. I'll send an email. I don't know that anything will come of it, but I think they should be aware that they need to do better. Okay? Just for everybody. It's not right that you should be delayed like that. How does a 4 hour trip become a 6.5 hour trip and there's no kind of compensation for the riders? Like, I just don't get that. I really don't. But you know, it may just be me. Maybe is that an American thing? That expectation that you get what you pay for? Because if I paid you good money, I don't see why I can't get what I deserve, right? But that's just me. You know, stay strong, folks. Stay resilient. I'll be reporting with some other updates and some things I discovered. So see you soon. Blessings.